Most men don't even realize they're at war. They wake up, scroll, grind, sleep, thinking life is just survival. But survival isn't life. Survival is slavery. And here's the ugly truth. Most guys are lost, not because they're dumb, not because they're lazy, but because they're confused. You try to lead, they call you controlling. You work your ass off to provide, they say you're absent. You stand strong, they label you toxic. It's a no-win game, and the more you play along, the more you're trained to apologize for the very things God carved into your bones. Strength, drive, aggression, authority. Brother, hear me. You weren't made to bow your head. You were made to carry weight, to subdue chaos, to rule with discipline under God. But if you keep bowing, keep apologizing, keep swallowing the lies, you'll spend your life with your spirit broken, alive in body, dead in soul. This isn't just confusion, it's sabotage. Strip a man of clarity, and you strip him of strength. Make him question his instincts, and you win the war for his soul before he even fights back. For centuries, men knew the mission: provide, protect, lead. A man was the wall between chaos and his family. But today, the same world that still demands we carry the load turns around and calls us dangerous for standing firm. They didn't hand you new rules. They stacked contradictions on top of the old ones. Be strong, but not too strong. Lead, but only if she lets you. Provide, but don't let it cost you time. Open up, but only in ways they approve. That's not guidance, that's a setup. It's the same old strategy the enemy used in Eden. Twist God's words, distort his design, make man doubt his role until he hands over his authority. And men today are falling for it the same way Adam did, silent, passive, complicit. And every man who stays silent in that fog becomes easier to chain. You bleed out slow, not loud, not obvious, slow, silent, death by 1,000 cuts. First, they cut your confidence. You choke on truth because you're scared it'll offend. You call it being careful. It's not. It's castration without a blade. Then, they cut your clarity. You used to know your role. Now you freeze, like a soldier in the middle of a firefight, staring at his weapon, wondering if he's even allowed to fire. And finally, the last cut, shame. That quiet, rotting voice that says, you're the problem. So you apologize for being strong. Apologize for taking charge. Apologize for wanting to win. Apologize for being a man. That's how men are broken, not in chains, not in prisons, but in shadows, with lies and guilt, until you do the enemy's job for him. Look around, the proof is everywhere. Men are killing themselves at record rates, not because they lacked courage, but because they've been told courage itself is toxic. More men are isolated than ever. More men are depressed than ever. More men are spiritually dead while still breathing. They're putting guns in their mouths. They're hanging from their ceilings, not because they're weak, but because the world convinced them that strength itself was a sin. And if you keep living like this, you won't just lose peace, you will lose your soul. This infection doesn't stay in your head. It spreads into every corner of your life until it rots everything you touch. At work, you're not leading. You're tiptoeing like a neutered mutt, terrified that authority will get you labeled aggressive. So you muzzle yourself. You strip the weight from your voice until all that comes out is sterile, safe, corporate noise. You're not a man on mission anymore. You're a tool hoping not to offend the hand that holds you. That's how careers die. Not from lack of talent, but from men trained to be harmless. And harmless men don't build legacies, they take orders. At home, it's uglier. Your woman might say she wants you emotional and soft, but deep down she craves the rock, the unshakable man she can trust when the storm hits. But if you turn yourself into a full-time feelings machine, you're not her man anymore. You're her pet, her slave, her emotional tampon. And once she sees you that way, respect dies. When respect dies, attraction dies. And when attraction dies, you're just two roommates sharing a house until it all collapses. Friendships, almost gone. Men used to ride together, fight together, bleed together. Now, most guys don't have a single brother they'd trust with their life. We joke, we drink, we watch the game, but we never open the gates to the real battles inside. We've been trained to bleed alone, and alone is where the enemy kills cleanest. Because here's the truth, iron sharpens iron. If you're isolated, you're already dull, and a dull blade shatters the first time life swings at it. But it's not just you on the line. Your weakness infects your children. If your son never sees a strong father, he grows up confused, thinking masculinity is dangerous. If your daughter never sees a steady father, she grows up desperate, searching for security in the arms of weak men. The bloodline rots when the father bows. Addictions chain you tighter, porn strips your willpower, scrolling burns your time, comfort numbs your spirit, and while you're drugged on dopamine, the enemy laughs, not because you're destroyed yet, but because you're distracted. Every addiction whispers the same lie, it's harmless. But every click, every wasted hour, every secret indulgence makes you softer, and soft men don't win wars. Understand this, you are not just fighting habits, you are fighting hell itself. This war isn't against culture or women or politics. It's against the powers that want you neutered, ashamed, and forgotten. That's why this fight matters, because the stakes are eternal. Heaven or hell, legacy or oblivion, life or slavery. Every time you shut your mouth to keep peace, you get smaller. Every time you bow to their script, you hand over another piece of yourself. Do it long enough, and one day you'll wake up hollow, obedient, empty, erased without a single bullet fired. Stop waiting for the world to hand you permission slips. Stop whining about how unfair it is. Weak men cry about culture. Strong men rise above it. If you stay weak, you deserve the cage you're in. Here's your way out. Not suggestions, not life hacks, orders. Define yourself. If you can't answer what it means to be a man, you're already owned. Write it down. Integrity, discipline, courage, responsibility. If you don't have values, you'll be enslaved by whatever lie screams the loudest. Stop chasing praise. You want to be liked? Fine. Be liked and forgotten. You want to be respected? Then bleed for a purpose greater than yourself. Applause is for clowns. Mission is for men. Remember, Jesus wasn't praised when he carried the cross. He was mocked. If you're waiting for applause, you're not walking his road. Build competence everywhere. Weak men talk. Competent men prove. If you're fat, addicted, undisciplined, fix it. If you can't control yourself, you're not a man, you're a slave. Train your body, master your emotions, dominate your craft. Competence silences critics, because results speak louder than excuses. Guard your vulnerability. Stop spilling your guts to people who haven't earned it. That's not openness, it's weakness. Build a war council. A few brothers who will bleed with you, fight with you, call you on your bullshit. With them, you can drop the mask. To the world, you stand firm, always. This is the way. Brutal, clear, unapologetic. No more begging for approval. No more apologizing for your strength. No more living neutered. If this feels too harsh, good. It means you've been soft too long. The world may be confused about men, but you don't get to be confused. You don't get to sit on the fence. You rise or you rot. Families collapse when men fold. Communities decay. Generations grow weak and fatherless. And if you think you're the exception, that you can coast, stay soft, keep everyone happy, you're already dead weight. So here's the line in the sand. Stand up. Define your values. Live on mission. Build competence. Guard your circle. Or stay hollow, apologizing for your existence until you die forgotten. No man is neutral. You are either a pillar holding the line or a cracked foundation waiting to collapse. You are either God's weapon in this war or the enemy's puppet. The choice is yours. Rise or stay a slave. If this hit you, don't forget to show some love by liking the video. Subscribe for more unfiltered lessons like this. We are Unshackled Soul.